Welcome back to part 2 of Overtime Sports, the weekend preview edition. It's March 7th, 2008, and we're going to make our selections on who's going to win the games this weekend.
At 2 o'clock p.m., the Stanford Cardinal, number 7 in the nation, 24-5, 13-4, are coming off a horrendous loss in overtime to UCLA in Pasadena last night. They will be taking on the USC Trojans, who are 19-10 and 10-7 in Pac-10 play, and it's going to be televised live on CBS HD International. And let me tell you this, I think Stanford is going to win this game in convincing fashion, even though it is in LA. I mean, the Stanford Cardinal, they are upset about that loss last night at UCLA, and they're going to let that adrenaline fire them and win this game over USC.
All right, I think it's going to be a close one, but I think the Cardinal is going to have a 2-game losing streak. And that's because I think USC is going to win this at home. They need this win to get into the tournament. And the fact that O.J. Mayo, the most hyped high school basketball player in quite some time, is playing for him. And I think he's got people to win over still because he hasn't impressed me yet, but I think he's going to do some damage.
At 3:30, we have the California Golden Bears, who are 15-13 and 6-11 in Pac-10 play, heading in to Pasadena to take on the UCLA Bruins, who are ranked number 3 in the nation right now. Their record is 27-3 and 15-2 in Pac-10 play. And this is going to be televised live on ABC, again at 3:30. And I'm going to go with UCLA big on this one. There's no chance for Cal to win this game.
All right, I'm going with the Bruins to win it big, baby. They got this.
No doubt about that. At 4 o'clock p.m., we have a Big East matchup. The Cincinnati Bearcats are 13-16, 8-9 in conference play. They're going to be going into UConn to take on the Connecticut Huskies, number 13 in the nation, 23-7, 12-5 in the conference, and this is going to be televised on ESPN Regional. And Connecticut, I have winning this game because they are coming off a loss last night at Providence, 76-85, and yet again, that's going to fuel them to a victory over Cincinnati.
I definitely think that UConn's going to win. Those Huskies are mad about that loss to Providence, and they're going to take a bite out of Cincy tomorrow.
Another Big East game at 4 o'clock p.m. We have the number 21 ranked Marquette Golden Eagles, who are 22-7, 11-6 in their conference, and Syracuse, the 18-12 and 8-9 in their conference. This is going to be televised on ESPN, and I have the Orange winning this game. They came and they kicked Georgetown's butt in New York. So, I mean, if they can knock off Georgetown in their place, they can knock out Marquette in their place. So I have Syracuse winning that game.
All right, I also have Syracuse pulling off the upset. I think Marquette's got a fine coast going into the tournament. Syracuse needs this win to get in, so I think Syracuse is going to pull it out.
At 7 o'clock p.m., we have the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, not just a football school anymore, number 19 in the nation, 23-6 and 13-4 in the Big East, taking on South Florida, 12-18, 3-4 in the Big East, and this is going to be televised on ESPN 360, and Notre Dame is going to win this big. I mean, South Florida has no chance in heck that they are going to win this game. Notre Dame all the way.
All right, the South Florida Bulls are going to go nowhere. It's all the Fighting Irish.
Completely. Good call. Next up, is this going to be the Sunday game? It's going to be Michigan State, number 17. They're 24-6, 12-5 in their conference against Ohio State, 18-12, 9-8 in their conference, and this is going to be televised on the Big Ten Network. And surprisingly, even though I hate the Buckeyes, I'm going to have to go with them on this game. The Buckeyes this is their last chance to get into the big dance, and if they don't win this, then they're out. Simple as that.
I agree with that, and I think that Ohio State's definitely going to give it their all. This isn't a home game for them, but I'm going to have to go with the Spartans to win this game. It would be so sweet for them to be the reason why a team does not get into the tournament. They're going to be, oh, we got to win this game. We can kill their hopes. They were in the national title game. They lost, but they were in it, and they want to get back in the tournament again. Michigan State's going to go all over them.
And now we get to the big games. At 10:30 Eastern Time, we have a big Pac-10 battle, and the winner is going to get to the NCAA tournament. That is my pick. It's going to be the Arizona Wildcats taking on the Oregon Ducks, and it's going to be in Oregon. So, what do you have in this one?
All right, I think both teams need to win this equally. They've both got hopes of being in the tournament. I think Arizona has a little bit more of an edge over Oregon as to the resume for who's going to get in the tournament. But I think that the Ducks are going to pull away with this win. They have the home advantage, of course. But if you look at their stats, all their players, they've got 4 people scoring at least 13 or more points a game. Tawan Porter, one of my favorite college players right now, single-handedly brought Oregon back, if anyone remembers, in the home game against USC earlier this year. What Oregon's going to have to do to get the win is to make sure they guard Jared Bayless and Chase Budinger, because together they're putting up 35, 37, 35 points a game, and that's pretty good for a combination of 2 players. But I think Oregon, if they can put the pressure on those 2 players, they're going to get the win.
If this was a neutral court, I would have to say it'd be a toss-up. But since it's at Oregon, I'm going to go with the Oregon Ducks on this one. They're going to move to 18-12, and they will get an at-large bid for the NCAA tournament. At 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Louisville Cardinals, ranked 12th in the nation. They are 24-6 and 14-3 in Big East play. They are going into Washington, D.C. to take on the number 11th ranked Georgetown Hoyas, who are 24-4 and 14-3 in the Big East Conference. And this is going to be televised live on CBS at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Let me tell you about this game. Louisville's last loss was at UConn on January 28th. They are on a 9-game win streak, but I see it ending tomorrow night against Georgetown. Georgetown is going to pull out the win at home. It's probably going to be really close. I would not be surprised if it goes into overtime, but I have Georgetown winning this game. What's your take, Tyler?
All right. Well, first of all, these 2 teams are great teams, and they're even better that they play in the Big East Conference, which is probably one of the best teams in college basketball right now. Louisville does have 5 players that are averaging in double digits. David Padgett, Earl Clark, Andre McGee, Jerry Smith, and Terrence Williams. They're all really great players. Georgetown has Roy Hibbert, averaging 13.6 points per game, 6.4 boards. He's not good on paper, and DeJuan Summers with 5.6 boards per game, also not good on paper. But if you watch these 2 play, they are phenomenal players. And when they're hot, they are hot. And I know Louisville did beat them on their own court February 9th by 8 points, but the Hoyas are undefeated at home, and I don't think that they're going to let Louisville sweep this season. They're going to take this win, and they're not going to give up a loss in the Verizon Center. Another game we've got, UAB, coached by Mike Davis, taking on the number 2 Memphis Tigers with John Calipari. What do you think about this game?
Well, on February 16th, Memphis went into UAB and they lost by 1 point. It was 79-78. UAB should have beat Memphis in that game. But you know, this time UAB is coming to Memphis, and Memphis is too good at home. Even though, I mean, they've only had 1 home loss, which of course is their only loss to Tennessee. But still, they are too good at home for. I mean, UAB is a mediocre CUSA team. They're okay. They're not of the caliber that can beat Memphis on their home court. I'm going to have to go with Memphis in this game. What about you?
All right, well, I think the thing about UAB is that if you look at their players, they're a more balanced team. 4 averaging in double digits, including Robert Vaden, who's scoring an impressive 22 points per game. There's not much talk going on about him because all of this is about, oh, Michael Beasley in Kansas State. Well, Robert Vaden is doing great for UAB this season. They only have 3 losses. And despite only 1 loss, Memphis only has 2 players averaging in double figures. Chris Douglas-Roberts and Derrick Rose are great players for Memphis. And they do have a much better defense. But if they could hit free throws better than they do, I mean, how they're shooting free throws right now, it's pretty similar to how Trip Eisenhower hits Hawks with golf balls. Hardly ever does it hit. But I think UAB is desperate for revenge against Memphis in this game. And Memphis won't be as desperate to win this game since they've lost at home already this season. But I'm picking the UAB Blazers, who haven't lost since they played at Memphis, to win this game. It's going to be close, but the Blazers are going to pull off the big upset.
That's a big upset call.